Probably. Morning, Inspector Sosa. Responsive
Good
ayes.
morning, Your Honor.
Hi, Judge.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you. I'm glad your Zoom is working.
Yes, we're back on. We tried to log on too many times and it locked us out. The other-
Oh,
There's a screen marked Leroy, if you can unmute, please.
Okay.
Okay, it's Leroy, or is this Lee Lemus? Is that correct? Is that who this is?
No, this is Leroy Limas. Lee is my brother.
Lee? Okay. And the citations against Lee Lemus, is that correct?
Well, the citation was on the property at 7157 3rd Street in Cantillo. He is not the owner. I am the owner of that property.
Okay, and you're Leroy Lemus.
Yes.
How did we get Lee? I guess Inspector Sosa or Ms. Monsiváis?
Well, the constable, when the constable went to my brother, I was there.
No, I'm not. Okay, well, go ahead. Tell me. When the constable.
Constable went to my brother's, my mom's house where my brother and I were there. He was citing my brother, but I told him my brother is not the owner of that property. I am the owner of the property. So the constable gave me the, I guess, the notice.
Your Honor, I got the affidavit, Mark Lee Limas on August the 24th, 7157 3rd Street. And in talking to Mr. Lee Limas, he told me that he was the one responsible for the cleanup for the property at 7157 3rd Street. Under CAD, the Central Appraisal District, the property is under L&L Enterprises, which no longer exists. And Mr. Lee Limas described himself as being the primary person responsible for the property. So if it's Mr. Leroy Limas, he was not served.
Well, I was the one that talked to you.
Mr. Lemus, Mr. Lemus, let Mr. Sosa
Okay.
finish.
So in regards to Mr. Lee Limas, if Mr. Leroy Limas is saying that he's the one responsible, I do have some notices of violation dating August the 24th addressed to Mr. Leroy Limas, but the affidavit was for Mr. Lee Limas because he stated that he was the one responsible. So if it's Mr. Leroy Limas, I did not file an affidavit for him.
Okay, let me, Ms. Monsiváis, would you like to offer anything or any?
well, if Leroy Lemus is claiming ownership or responsibility for the property, I think we need to reissue a citation in his name.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Leroy Lemus, one here today, would you consent to the affidavit being amended to your name, Leroy Lemus, and that's proceeding today?
Yes, that's my property.
Okay, Ms. Monsiváis, do you have any problem with that?
So, Your Honor, so I'll make an oral motion to amend the affidavit to reflect the name of Leroy Lemus.
Okay, and Mr. Lemus, you have no objection to that, correct?
No,
Okay, so we can proceed and we'll just, the affidavit is so amended to reflect the name of Leroy Lemus instead of Lee Lemus. Okay, Mr. Lemus, Leroy Lemus, you are cited or charged with public nuisance. How do you want to plead, guilty or not guilty?
not guilty.
Just, okay, I'm just asking,
This was already served at Justice of the Peace. where
Mr.
I
Lemus,
already went.
Mr. Lemus, I just asked for your plea.
Not guilty.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Monsiváis, do you want to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor, I would call Inspector Sosa as a witness, please.
Okay, I haven't sworn anybody in. If you, Mr. Lemus and Mr. Sosa, if you can, Inspector Sosa, if you can raise your right hand. I can't see you, Mr. Lemus, but I assume you raised your right hand?
Yes.
Okay. Did I ask, do you have video?
I don't know how to do this. What do I need to do to get video?
Look at the bottom of your screen. There's a toolbar and there's an icon that resembles a camera.
Start video?
Yes.
Got it?
Okay. Did each raise your right hand? Inspector Sosa, if you could raise your right hand.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Your Honor.
You swear the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Monsiváis.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Sosa, have you had an opportunity to inspect the property that's the subject of this case?
Yes, I inspected it starting on August the 24th, which is the date I started the report. On August the 24th, the premises were filled with weeds, trash, and the building was dilapidated. There was a renter there that was going to move out soon. So they were complaining also about the conditions of the property. So I sent Mr. Leroy Limas a notice of violation citing chapter 343, 011, C2 and C5 about having rubbish and trash within the property lines and also having a dilapidated building. And also sent another notice on the same date for garbage, refuse and other wastes, chapter 341.
Okay, and have you noticed anything in addition to those violations regarding the septic tank?
The septic tank, it seems like, well, it is filled with dirt, which is normally what we require property owners to do when they decommission a tank. But upon further research of our archives, I could not find a decommission for the septic tank. So that's another thing I might ask Mr. Leroy Limas to go ahead and decommission the tank as per TCEQ guidelines and repair the lid and bury the tank with at least 1 feet or 1 foot of clean dirt to go ahead and decommission the tank.
Since you were out there on the property and issued the violations, have you had a chance to go back and see what the condition of the property is?
I sent some pictures this morning to you and to Ms. Juanita Molina. And the pictures reflect the current conditions. Mr. Limas did clean up his property about 85%. There's still some weeds and a little pile of trash. But I would also would like Mr. Limas to repair some of the walls that he has on the apartment complex. It's a 4-unit apartment complex. And because it'll provide nesting grounds for pests, for insects. And I did notice a cat coming out of the septic tank when I was there. It did come out of one of the ports where the lid is broken. So I would like also if Mr. Limas could do this.
Have you had an opportunity to see the pictures?
Are you asking the court?
Yes.
No, I haven't. Let me see. Juanita, are they there? Exhibits here? I'll show.
There are.
One second. I'm going to share them. 1 second.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So I'll just open up as a, what do we see here?
Okay, right there is the rear of the property, Your Honor. It seems like a hole
Here?
in the structure, which could also lead to nesting grounds for pests and insects.
Okay, let me see. Let me get to the picture. 1 second.
Okay, right there is a picture of, I don't know what kind of a pipe that is. I'm not sure what it is, but it's broken. And it could also lead as a safety hazard, as a trip hazard, if the apartments were to be rented again. So
Are-
I
are-
don't know.
So these photos are 422. This is after he's done
Yes,
5% or,
yes, 85% of the property was cleaned up. It's just some other pictures there that show the rear of the property, which most of the trash was located. And he did cooperate and cleaning it. I just need him to finish up.
okay.
And there's another hole in the wall right there.
I think I'm on the fourth one. Let's see.
And that's the septic tank. That's where the cat came out. And the dirt is about close to the top. It is filled up from the inside out. I just needed
You mean here, this dirt?
the concrete right there is a septic tank.
Right, but you said the dirt is, I'm sorry, go ahead. You said something about the dirt.
Yes, I need him to bury the septic tank at least with a foot of dirt.
This concrete slab to bury this?
Yes, to bury that with at least a foot of dirt.
Come on, there we go.
Okay, that's I took two pictures. This is the right side of the rear of the property.
Mhm. And so you're saying this has to be raised above this concrete slab, a foot of dirt?
Yes, the decommission states, the decommissioning of a septic tank states that the top of the concrete lid needs to be crushed and backfilled with clean dirt. And the foot of dirt is to ensure that the lid would be properly covered. But in this case, since the lid is still intact, and I did see inside that it's almost to the top filled with dirt, I just need him to go ahead and bury it all. That way they won't produce a source of interest for kids or adults to try to start.
I guess, I mean, if, and you first mentioned that they crushed the top.
That's what that we asked him to do, but since the archives do not reflect that this was decommissioned, I don't know when it was decommissioned. It looks pretty old, like at least 20, 30 years ago, or whenever they put the sewer.
Okay, well, I guess what I'm asking, what I'm not understanding, to crush the top, this is the top, and if you crush, it sounds like they could put that into the sewer, septic.
What I would like for Mr. Limas to do is keep on filling the dirt to the top and then bury the whole thing under a foot of dirt.
But- Okay, so you're saying just raise this up, but to me seems unreasonable is to have him bring a foot of dirt to where he's raising the whole level.
No, just for the area of the septic tank, Your Honor, not the whole backyard.
Oh, okay. I mean, because I'm sure the septic systems has lines all through here, correct?
Yes, and in fact, the lines remain buried. If they connect it to the sewer, they remain buried forever. So
Right.
the tank itself, the reason why we asked them to destroy the lid is because after about 30, 40, 50 years of it being buried, the concrete starts losing its structural integrity and will ultimately collapse. But in this case, they filled it with dirt. So I'm just asking for Mr. Limas to bury the whole thing under a foot of dirt. Not the whole backyard, but just the area around the septic tank.
What if this was crushed and removed, this concrete slab?
That would be another option, but since the dirt has already been filled to the top, it would not, it would seem unfeasible for him to destroy it because these lids are about 2 to 3 inches of concrete. Sometimes they're reinforced and they're very hard to destroy, but that would be another option.
Sort of leave them on the 1, 2.
This is the other side of the of the property in the rear. And in the middle, it has some piles of branches, small piles of branches, which I would like Mr. Limas to go ahead and just finish cleaning. And this is the hallway leading to the backyard from the front. And if at all possible, I'm also asking Mr. Limas to repair that to prevent cats, insects from making nesting grounds in between the walls. And it's also an avenue for fire. So if a fire gets in between the walls, it'll be extremely hard for the firefighters to put it out. And this is close to the entrance of the apartment complex.
This is not occupied by anybody now, is that correct? Or-
I asked one of the neighbors and they said they hadn't seen anybody in a couple months. So that would be a question for Mr. Limas, if it's occupied right now.
This is the whole structure. This is the whole,
Yes, Your Honor, the front.
those photos were the back of the,
Yes, Your Honor, over the back.
okay. Okay. Ms. Monsiváis, anything further?
Your Honor, since he's done 85% of the cleanup, what we're asking at this point is to give him another 30 days to make the necessary repairs to the building itself, so it's not considered a dilapidated building, to finish the cleanup that he started, that he's done a pretty good job of so far, and then to properly decommission that sewage tank.
Okay. Let me ask you, if this was not occupied, I mean, one option would be to secure it, would it not? Just to fence it off?
I think that there's still a requirement that he make it so that it's not going to be a nuisance to the community. And as it is now, it could be infested. So, I mean, if he boarded it all off, that might be an option, but there's so many holes and there's so many places where vermin and rodents and bugs can get in that it would be probably a nesting place if it were just left as it is now.
Have there been any complaints?
I would refer to Mr. Inspector Sosa for that question.
Yes, Your Honor, this was a public complaint. It also came through from the sheriff's office, and it also went through the Assistant County Attorney's office.
Okay, Mr. Amos,
Yes.
anything you'd like to say?
You know what? I don't recall when, but Mr. Sosa gave me a notice about the premises. He said weeds and stuff, and I did pretty much everything he asked. This is the first time I hear about the septic tank or any of that stuff. The septic tank was decommissioned and it was filled in with dirt. The person who connected to the public sewer did that, but that was a while back, and I guess there's been some settling of the dirt.
In some what?
Some settling of the dirt.
Settling. Okay. Anything else you'd like to say? Are you willing to do the things that they've asked?
Yeah, I mean, that's not a problem.
Okay. So why don't we just set this for review in 30 days to see if you've done such?
I would like to meet with Mr. Sosa personally to see what is it he wants done, because some stuff that he mentioned, I really don't know. Because I thought, you know what, I had done what he asked.
I think that's fair.
That'll be no problem, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, so you all arrange that? We don't need to take care of that, do we? I mean, you all can come up with a convenient date for both of you, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Limas, can you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so Juanita, I don't know if we want to give him a date now. I probably would be easier if we give a date now that we can make sure the date's all right with everybody.
Okay, how about May the 20th at 9?
Is that good date for Ms. Monsiváis, Inspector Sosa, and Mr. Lemus?
As long as it's okay with Mr. Lemus, I don't want to cut him short on the time that he has to make
Yeah,
the.
why don't we go a little farther out, Juanita?
You want to do June 3rd? At
Uh,
9?
Yeah, that's fine. Is that good for everybody?
Yeah, that's
Yes, Your
that's
Honor.
very generous of the court. So hopefully we can get it done by then.
Hey, June 3rd, this is for what now? Is this for a meeting with?
A review to
Social
make
or-
sure, a review that you all have come to terms, you've done the stuff necessary to become in compliance with this section 340.013 of the Health and Safety Code.
Okay.
And what they're saying is they want it done in 30 days. Just because we're setting a review for May 6th doesn't mean you have until May 6th. You need to get it completed by the 30 days that they've asked.
I think it's June 6th, Judge.
June
June
6th, I'm sorry. June 3rd. Okay, we're all, okay.
Okay.
June 3rd at one time, Juanita?
At 9?
So it's, okay, we're set for a status on June 3rd at 9 a.m. And Mr. Leroy Lemus, do we have your email?
It's Lemus 1960 @gmail.com.
Okay. Anything else we need to discuss or cover?
How do I get a hold of Mr. Sosa to make an appointment?
If you have something to write down, I could give you my cell number direct. Okay, so my cell number is 915-472-3970.
Okay.
Unless there's something else, I'm going to end the meeting. You all have a good day.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Judge. You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
thank you.